Hello and welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast,
hi.
COVID-19 edition.
Hi, welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast. This is Nikolai.
And this is Brian.
You see, I undermined his opening and did my own.
I reject your reality and
gotcha.
substitute my own.
Yes, welcome to the quarantine edition of the Brothers Game Podcast.
It's been about 2 months since our last recording.
Seriously,
So
yeah.
we have a lot to talk about,
we
actually.
just posted. We're posting about to.
We're about to.
Was recorded, yeah, probably about 2 months ago. But we're on it now.
Yep.
We're quarantined. We're doing it.
Yes. We're social distancing. We're roughly 6 feet apart.
We weren't earlier, but that's fine. We're brothers. It's fine. That means it's impossible. That's how that works.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Families immune to each other. Mm-hmm. I'm a doctor. Listen to me.
So
Take all of my advice.
So how's it going? How are you holding up? How's your
Ryan, I have so many video games that I could be home alone for just weeks and weeks easily with no shortage of things to do. So nothing has changed for me.
Right.
My life is exactly the same almost.
Except you're doing Uber Eats instead of
yes, a lot less catering.
Catering, and I'm working from home.
If you don't know, I own a catering company with my mother, our mother, I should say.
Yes.
For we are related. We're not doing that right now because no one's holding events because they can't legally. So yes, I am doing Uber Eats delivery driving, which is not bad actually. It's kind of fun.
And I'm working from home. I'm technically at work.
Yes.
My work laptop is sitting right next to me, so
Working hard.
working real
A
hard.
hard day at the office right now. Yeah. So there you go. It's been fun.
So do we want to start with what we've been doing the last 2 months?
Just what's been going on. What you've been playing.
So since I've been in the last few episodes updating everybody on my progress on Breath of the Wild.
Right,
by the
you
way,
played that forever ago.
fantastic, great Nintendo 64 mug there.
Thank
right?
you. You can't see it
beautiful.
because this is an audio podcast.
Right.
New N64 mug, straight from jolly old England. And it's awesome. It's lovely. Anyway, yes, continue.
So I did beat Breath of the Wild over these last 2 months. After I found every shrine, I went and beat the...
Okay, let's clarify. You found every shrine. You did not do every shrine.
Well, I mean, we've
Which
already
blows
established
my
that that's
mind.
what I was doing.
Yeah, but
was
you
finding
beat the
them all.
game and then didn't do all the shrines. That just blows my mind. Anyway, continue.
Yes, I have many incomplete shrines. I mean, I did like, I don't know, 25, 30 out of all of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Out of the 120 shrines that there are? Good Lord. So you didn't play Breath of the Wild. Got it. You beat Ganon. Okay.
I did beat the 4 legendary beasts or divine
Okay,
beasts
that's cool.
or whatever you call them.
Divine. Yes.
And then I got the Master Sword and I beat Ganon and
Master Sword only doing. I don't think you could get the Master Sword only doing 30 shrines.
I had like 14 hearts.
You must not have done. You must have done more than 30 shrines then.
Okay.
Because I think that's impossible, actually.
All right.
Did you upgrade stamina at all, or only hearts?
Both. But
Okay, then it's definitely impossible for you.
I only have 2
just
full
done-
wheels of stamina though, I think.
it would have been possible. So you've done more than
Okay,
30.
so,
I'm gonna guess you've done more like 50. But
Okay, that's possible.
but anyway,
But yeah, I mean, I got pretty much every blessing because I
Right.
did all the shrine quests.
right.
So, I mean, even though I didn't do every shrine, I did do just about every shrine quest, I think.
Mm-hmm. Which some of those are
Yeah, I
pretty
had
tough.
to because I had to in order to unlock every shrine.
Did you do that one? Gosh, I hate this one. It's on like a Lanayru mountain, a really snowy mountain, and there's this ruins of a cabin, and there's these snowballs, and you have to like roll the snowball down the hill.
Yep.
So it's like in the perfect time of day, and
I did.
That one
I
was
did that
so
one.
annoying.
I did all the shrine quests. So,
that
yep.
one was so annoying. Kind of fun at the same time, but the third time I did it, it wasn't that hard
yeah.
because I've beaten it 3 times. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, overall, it was satisfying. I enjoyed the game. It was my first Zelda game I ever beat. So,
It's true.
yeah.
I can't really blame you because you're not a huge Zelda person. So the fact you didn't 100% it isn't that much of an issue to me.
Well, and it's a
Less
big
of an
enough
issue.
game. I'm not sure I
pretty big
ever
game.
will, frankly.
Yeah, I mean I haven't done the 900 Korok seeds or whatever. That's too much. That's too much for me.
Every man has his limits.
No thanks. I've done pretty much everything else though. So yeah.
But I've also
game.
played a few other games in between.
Yes.
So
what else are you doing?
I had already started Pokemon Let's Go Eevee beforehand and just hadn't beaten it yet. I just took my time with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it took me a lot longer than it normally takes me to beat like Pokemon Red or Blue.
Right, because Gen 1, you fly through it usually.
Yeah, I think
can just beat that in a day,
my
usually.
personal record is 5.5 hours on Blue version. So yeah.
That's the closest game you are to speedrunning.
Yeah, exactly. But I did really enjoy it though. It was kind of, in some ways, it was the Gen 1 remake I've always wanted.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I completely agree. A lot of people are not into Let's Go, but I think it was a really cool Gen 1 remake.
Yeah, there were times where the Pokemon Go style catching I didn't necessarily love, but also it was fine.
A lot of the random battle stuff, though, from the first games were really annoying anyway. I loved being able to see the Pokemon, too. I think that was really nice. Really
and
nice change
having Pokemon be able to follow you and stuff was really fun. I know, obviously,
Super
it wasn't
cute.
the first game to do it, but
yeah, I think maybe Heart Gold, Still Silver may have been the first one. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I guess technically Pokemon Yellow was the first one. But any Pokemon, not just Pikachu, is what we're saying.
Yeah, and Eevee is just adorable.
Eevee is extra cute. They really Pikachu-ified Eevee. They've really made her a main thing, which is cool. I'm glad they're not fully focused on Pikachu all the time.
Yeah, and it was kind of fun to have that other rival, and then having Blue be a separate character who is kind of doing his own thing.
Blue was really cool. Yeah, him popping in was really interesting, and he wasn't a total a-hole. He definitely matured.
Also, I have to, if I want to, I do actually want to go back and grind up a bit because I fought Green in
she's
the
tough.
Cerulean Cave, and she just wiped the floor with
Yeah.
me. So
I was over leveled when I went to get Mewtwo. It was the very last thing I did. I already had 120 or 150 Pokemon because I had Mew from the Pokeball Plus.
oh yeah,
So literally Mewtwo was my last Pokemon. I went in like level 85 on all 6 of my Pokemon.
oh wow, yeah.
So I'd wrecked her.
I have like
it was a
120
really cool fight.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I have a fair amount. I don't have any from Let's Go Pikachu,
Right.
and I don't have a Dratini at all. So I need to
You didn't?
get
Nice.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Dratinis were kind of hard to get. I feel like Dragonite was easier to get than Dratini
Oh yeah.
in Let's Go. Because
Interesting.
the Dragonite I got was just wild.
Oh,
I found
yeah.
him in the sky.
That's right. Yeah, and I've got several Pokemon that are like just a rare spawn.
Yeah.
I have several like that, but there's just one or two that I just don't have. I just never have seen them.
Yeah, some really take some time. So.
And then my team's all only like level 60 because that's what I needed
typical.
to beat the Elite Four.
Yeah.
And then so Green's team is a little too high for me to.
Yeah,
handle right now.
I stuck with one team for a long time, for basically the whole game, and then I, got every other Pokemon and everything, and just through that I got really high level. So
Yeah, my team's pretty typical of what I would do. I have a Blastoise. I have.
I don't even remember my team.
Gosh.
Actually.
I think I have a Raichu as my electric.
You always have a Raichu,
probably
so.
because I usually have him. And then I had a Pidgeot just because I always do Fearow.
I like
and I
Pidgeot.
just wanted to
Personally,
have
I much
someone
prefer
different.
Pidgeot.
Even though Pidgeot is kind of inferior in almost every way
Like,
to
technically,
Fearow,
I think, yeah.
Except-
but I much prefer Pidgeot.
except for like health, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Ever since they added Mega Pidgeot, which has one of my favorite Mega designs, it's insanely cool. He became one of my favorite bird types, actually.
yeah. And then Eevee, obviously. And I have a Machoke, which I can't get to a Machamp unless I can trade with someone,
Yeah.
which
Which
I haven't
you're
traded with
Already
anybody.
beat the game, so it's kind of
But
defeats
yeah.
the purpose.
And then actually for my ground type, I used a Nidoking.
That's cool. Nidoking's
And
cool.
part of that was because in my original
Just to be
playthrough,
different.
Nidoking was one of the first Pokemon I actually used to any great degree.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of doing a callback to that.
Nice. He's such a classic Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah. So I beat Let's Go Eevee, and that was fun.
Very good looking game.
Yeah.
Very good looking.
and then the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind
Oh, yeah.
DLC.
I wish we could talk deeper on that, but I still have not played it,
Yeah.
despite being a ridiculously huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
So I was wondering if it would bring some closure and give me some answers. And it really just gave me more questions than answers in typical Kingdom Hearts fashion.
Nomura.
So yeah,
Nomura be like that sometimes.
expect to not really have many questions answered and get a few more questions.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned this to you right after I beat it, but there's a point where, or I guess I didn't really technically finish it, but because there's a point where you can fight all the organization again at level 80, just like you can in
data battles
in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and
They're
I was
pretty
nowhere
ridiculous.
near to level 80, so I
they're
just
pretty
could not
ridiculous.
handle them.
Of course, then there's those people who's like, oh, you didn't beat all the data battles at level 1. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You suck at Kingdom Hearts. It's kind of ruined Kingdom Hearts for me. People like that. I
here's
hate fandoms like that.
Here's the thing: is Kingdom Hearts is one of those games where if you play on the lowest difficulty, you don't have to really learn how to play the game properly to win.
Right.
You can button mash your way to victory. You can spam X and triangle and win. And so I
Which is the way to play
that
a little bit. Yeah.
to a degree. My
like,
play
or
style
you
is a
don't even
little more
block.
sophisticated
Yeah.
than that, but not much.
Yeah.
And
With Kingdom Hearts 3, I learned how to play a little more.
yeah.
But
Like there are some fights in Kingdom Hearts 2 that I still don't know the proper way to beat them.
oh yeah.
That I just lucked my way through. Like
I get that.
Zaldin, for instance. I
Yeah.
have
Zaldin was
no
always
idea
one of
what
the
I'm
toughest.
actually supposed to do in that fight. I just managed to eventually get
Just skid by somehow. I totally get that. I was definitely like that when I first was playing it because Zaldin especially gives me a lot of trouble. I remember having problems with Zigbar a lot, which now blows my mind because like I don't know if I'm just better now at Kingdom Hearts because Zigbar is kind of easy for me now, even on proud mode or critical.
That
I'm
fight
like, meh.
on normal for me was very
just learned it,
tedious,
I
but
guess.
not very difficult necessarily.
Same with like I remember the first time, maybe just the first few playthroughs of Kingdom Hearts 2, I played against like the second Demix fight and stuff. I remember just getting wrecked by him constantly. And now that's insane to me. That's like one of the easiest fights to me now.
Yeah, I feel like the second and third fights, they're high pressure, and if you don't time it right, you will lose.
It is that sometimes it's that like 10-second part
Yeah,
where like if you don't kill the 10 water things in 10 seconds, then you just die. I think may have been that part, but yeah, I don't know. Funny stuff. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is still the best
no.
out of them. It's just hard to beat.
There's I may have talked about this before, but it seems like when the first game that you play in a series is the one you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
And so far for me, that's held true in almost every circumstance.
Sadly, I think it's true.
I think
Part of it's just nostalgia and
I
stuff.
think Kingdom Hearts 2 was the first Kingdom Hearts game I played.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Mine was the first Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And I still prefer 2. So.
Oh,
But
interesting. So maybe it's more just a personal thing for me then.
also, Kingdom Hearts 2 is just so much better
Yeah. Like
in so many ways.
I definitely prefer Halo 2 over Halo 1.
Right.
And I played Halo 2 first.
I think a lot of people who started with Halo 1 agree with that, though, that they love Halo 2.
I just know I just know some diehard Halo
purists,
1
I
fans
guess.
that are like, oh, Halo 1 will always be the best.
I feel like
but,
a lot of them didn't really play much after Halo 1, though.
Yeah.
People who got really into 2 and 3 like we did still agree. I feel like that 2 is the best.
And that brings me on to the game I played after the Remind DLC, Halo 5. So I've had Halo 5 for like 3 years or
Guardians.
something, and I just never really played it. And so I finally played through it, and it was the most disappointing Halo game I've ever played.
Big yikes.
And that's not to say it was a bad
That's
game.
sad.
It
That's
was
so sad.
just, it was so more of the same. It was so not like, oh,
And not in a good way.
here's, yeah, and not in a good way. Because the thing is, the Halo games after 2, I feel like it's just kind of been going downhill. And
Campaign-wise or multiplayer-wise?
more so campaign-wise, the multiplayer hasn't changed a ton. So my thought of the series as a whole is like Halo 1 was a new and interesting space shooter. It wasn't the first of its kind in almost any aspect, but just the way it combined each of the things that it did made it somewhat unique. It feels a lot different than a lot of first person shooters.
I mean, it pretty much defined the genre a little bit.
Yeah, just its aesthetic and then Halo 2 feels so unique among the series. It has a very different look and feel from all the other games.
I think that's true. Yeah,
the aesthetic is very different, and so and I came to really like that aesthetic. And then in Halo 3, it just didn't have the same thing. The multiplayer in Halo 3, I felt like
it's probably
they
the
had
best.
almost basically perfected Halo 2's multiplayer.
Yeah.
It was very similar,
agree.
but better in a lot of ways. More streamlined. They had really figured some things out. But the campaign was kind of left me wanting. It was like
Halo 3's campaign is hit and miss a little bit.
yeah, I didn't really
like
love it, and I didn't like. It felt like a new team took over, and I know there were some personnel changes, but
it did.
And then as it transitioned from Bungie to 343 Studios, which I understand there are some of the original team is on it, but
not
it
much.
feels like the game has
Very different
totally
feel.
changed in its feel. And
Well, the biggest jump in feel I think was 3 to Reach.
yeah.
Reach felt like a completely different game.
Well, and of course, Reach doesn't have the Master Chief. It's a totally different little offshoot story.
Right. But even the multiplayer, which was very popular and still is, I feel like.
Yeah.
With the Master Chief collection and everything.
And then I also don't like how they were like, okay, so the fans think Cortana is the best thing ever, so we need to make her the most important part of the story for every game from now on.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
That irritated me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, in this game,
she's fine, but
the whole goal is to save Cortana.
again,
Now in this next game,
guess what?
she's going to
saving
die,
Cortana.
but she's going to save you. Just kidding, she's not dead. She's actually going to take over the galaxy.
cool, great.
Like what?
Also save her, I guess.
Why?
Question mark.
Like they could have had her just go away
Yeah, she could
at
be
the end of
or just stay as the cool side character
Yeah.
and stop
Well,
getting
and, like,
so deep with it.
in Halo 3 they could have had her just go away and just
Yeah.
and like it might have felt like a betrayal or whatever to replace her with some other AI, but also that would have given them the opportunity to have a totally new character with
Something
them.
more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think making her as important as they did was kind of a
Yeah,
mistake.
she was definitely
personally.
too important. Also, Halo 4's campaign was garbage. But anyway,
Yeah, I didn't really
not
care for it.
garbage, but I didn't really
And-
like it. I personally really enjoy Halo 4's multiplayer,
Yeah.
but
And-
I'm not in the majority with that. I don't think.
I don't know how much of the story of Halo 4 was planned from the beginning, like from the
Yeah.
Halo 1 and 2 era, but it didn't feel like it was. It felt very retconned.
I don't care about the Forerunners like at all.
Yeah.
Like I have no interest in them
And
whatsoever.
it just
basically.
didn't seem to fit
Yeah.
what they had been setting up in the first two games.
Like I like Reach's story and I like Halo 2 through 3's story.
Yeah.
And like that's cool. But yeah, the Forerunner stuff, I was just like, meh.
Yeah. And then Halo 5 really felt like just more of the same. Like it's like
I have not played Halo 5
it's
yet.
like playing
personally.
Halo 4 again, but with more Spartans. Like you alternate between two different Spartan teams. One of them is the Master Chief with his old buddies from the books, which I
is
do
cool.
think it was cool
That's
to
kinda cool.
integrate characters from the books because I thought the books were really good.
Yes, they are.
But
Which I need to
also
read more
it
of.
makes zero sense that they are in that game because two of these characters are dead and one of them is just missing.
They went Disney Star Wars with it and just
Yeah.
picked a little bit out of the books. Yeah.
So yeah.
He touched the computer again. Uh-oh.
Why do you do this? Why are you like this?
Listen, you're the one touching the computer.
Yes, I know. I'm the guy that's
You're
handling the
touching
recording.
computer, you're touching it.
You
That's
pay
not
no
good.
attention to the
Scary.
guy behind the curtain.
You're
You
scaring
just
me.
you just
We need a producer.
Trust me.
Stat.
I am the producer.
We need a team.
I am the engineer.
We need a team.
I am the everything except you.
Brian, I'll talk to the marketing. I'll talk to marketing about it. Don't worry about it. Brian, by the way, you need to contact the social team. They need to be tweeting more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reply.
So No, not me.
Uh-huh.
Contact the social team.
Which is you.
Anyway, let's continue. What were we saying? So Halo 5 sucks, huh?
Sucks with a capital S. No.
I have not played it yet.
It was so like
So
obviously
I can't really say.
it looked
but I
good.
heard pretty rough stuff.
And
so.
the mechanics were basically it was the same as playing Halo 4 basically.
just
So like if
yeah.
you liked Halo 4, I can't imagine why you wouldn't like Halo 5 because it had basically everything Halo 4 had. But like with adding almost nothing new except for this
Dang.
recurring mini boss character that you have to fight a few times, which didn't
Was
really,
meh, yeah. Do you have any hopes for Infinite?
No, I have
No.
I have very low expectations.
Yeah. That sucks. I have no thoughts on it really. I don't even know much about it.
It's frankly the first Halo
I'm just
game,
losing it on Halo,
mainline Halo game that I don't care if I ever buy it.
Yeesh.
That's how bad it's
Yikes.
gotten.
I mean, unless we hear it's the best Halo game since 2. I mean, I don't know.
Which I
doubt. Yeah. Interesting. Well, there you have it.
And then
I also don't have an Xbox, so that'll.
Yeah. Let's see.
You do that.
Besides
I can play
that,
yours. I'll steal your Xbox.
I'm.
What?
No, you won't.
What were you saying?
I played a little bit of Pokemon Diamond on an
What?
emulator.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I really want to actually
Yeesh.
like play through the whole thing.
Yeesh.
I can't really see it being bad.
Yeah.
So
it's fine.
I want to play Diamond and I want to play.
People who grow up with it love it.
Yeah.
And are obsessed over Sinnoh, but
I want to beat that and probably play Black or White or Black 2, Black 2 or White 2.
those are better in my opinion.
I don't know if I'll play both White and White 2 or Black 2, or I might only play one of the 4. But yeah.
Yep, I get that.
And then I just started Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I communicated
the PS4 remake. Yes.
Yes, the PS4
Brian,
HD
let's
remake.
talk about the controls of Shadow of the Colossus.
The
and how much you love them. How much
are
you love
okay.
them.
The camera, I hate.
I mean, that's part of the controls.
Yes, but I hate the camera. I hate that it snaps back.
Uh-huh.
I don't like that in cameras. I want the camera to be wherever I put it and to just stay there.
Yeah, but it's more cinematic if they do it.
It doesn't feel more cinematic. It
It
feels
looks
like
very
someone
good,
is
but it's
grabbing the
annoying.
camera and yanking it away from me. That's what it feels like.
I get that. I felt that way a little bit too when I first played it. I feel like once you've played it a lot, you just get used to it and kind of forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, I did.
But-
I got used to the Super Mario 64 camera,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
that's
pretty challenging in
atrocious.
itself. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good game though. Also,
Yeah. Well, and like the whole reason I played it is for the sheer awesomeness of the feeling
And
that you get
it's
of killing a
sick.
Colossus, and I've already killed one, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
yeah.
the first easy one, dude.
Right.
I don't know. Remember, it's the third. It's pretty early in the game. There's a bird one, bro. He's nuts. He is so cool. That's one of my favorites. Such a cool fight.
No.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through it. I forget why I dropped it. I didn't really drop it. Like I'll probably pick it up again. I'm just playing too much other stuff right now. Yeah. So is that basically what you've been up to?
Yep. So
Nice.
tell me what you've been
Nice.
playing.
Well, I don't think we could have a podcast right now if we didn't mention Animal Crossing, right?
Of course.
So there's this new game, Brian. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's for the Switch, all right? And it's a good time. Brian, have you played an Animal Crossing game ever?
No,
Not once.
not once.
Okay. Well, it's good. What do you know of Animal Crossing?
All I know is what I've watched you do, basically, because I don't really remember the original game very well, but looks like you like.
I played the original game
Yeah.
and New Leaf.
Yeah, it looks like one of those games where you get to like build stuff, craft stuff, farm stuff, and
A little bit.
yeah, that kind of thing.
I would almost describe it as a life simulator.
Yeah. I feel like I've played games like it before.
Yeah, a lot of people compare it to like Stardew Valley
Yeah.
and games like that, which is it's similar.
Or
to that.
even sort of The Sims in
Almost,
some ways.
but not at all. Also,
Yeah.
because you are controlling one character and not a bunch of different characters,
Yeah, I think there are some
But-
variations of The Sims games that are like that.
where you're just
but,
one main character.
Or like Minecraft, even a little.
Yeah, it's not like Minecraft at all.
Really?
No, not in the slightest.
Okay.
Um, it's because you don't build like that,
Well, I understand that.
and you don't
but, I
craft
mean, you're still
like that
like
either.
gathering materials and making things out of
Yeah.
them.
I
right?
guess so.
Yeah.
But it's very loosely like mine in that you control a video game character, I guess. In that way, it's similar to Minecraft. Yeah, so I played the first Animal Crossing quite a bit on the GameCube, and then I played New Leaf a lot more on the 3DS. I didn't play the two in between that, the DS or the Wii one, but this one is by far my favorite already. I know people are kind of obsessed with New Leaf still, the 3DS one, but I feel like this one is just so much nicer. Possibly just because it's on console.
What do you like better about this over the older ones?
So I feel like the overall feel is nice. It might even just be like graphically, it actually helps that it has really nice, smooth graphics. I feel like the mobile graphics of some of the earlier ones didn't make it feel as quaint and sweet as it's supposed to. Because that's part of the whole point of this game, is that it is super chill and sweet, and like you're in this quaint village with quaint villagers who are all really nice, and everyone's nice, and there's no sadness basically in this town. And I think they just nailed the feel of it in this game.
I feel like that's one thing they've done well with the Switch is keeping the look and feel of things pretty cartoony in a lot of their games, but making it really smooth and nice.
Just nice, yeah. Like they've nailed, I don't think there's never been a better looking Mario game than Odyssey. That's for sure. Like, and the scenery of Breath of the Wild is insane and stuff like that. And that's definitely a big part of Animal Crossing. So that's nice. Also, I just really like my island. I got a sweet layout for my island. I got a good starting fruit. So you always start with some sort of fruit on your trees, and it's totally random what you start with. In this game, there's 5 different fruits. You can start with apples, oranges, pears, peaches, or cherries. I started with oranges, which I was very excited about. That's what I wanted. Then you can name your island. You start out with 2 villagers, totally randomly. They all have their own kind of personalities and stuff. And you choose your house spot on the island, and then you have to pay off your loans for the rest of your life.
So it is a life
It's
simulator.
very, very realistic in that way. So there's a guy named Tom Nook. I'm sure you've at least heard of Tom Nook.
Yes, even I've heard of him.
So he's sort of a business tycoon, and now he does real estate mostly. So he's taken you on this island getaway package basically, and you have to pay him back because it's his company doing it. And so you start with like $100,000 bells, which is the currency, even though they're just coins, but they're called bells. Don't ask. And as you turn your tent into a house, and then a bigger house, and then a bigger house, you accrue more and more debt with him. Currently, I just added a 3rd room onto my house. So I am 700,000 bells in debt right now. Although I already paid off 300,000 of it because I'm doing pretty well financially.
I was going to say, is it a nice house in California?
It is a nice house. It's on its own private island, Brian. It's really fun though. I really like the daily chore aspects of it, which kind of sounds weird that you'd enjoy daily chores, but basically, there's a real-time clock in the game, and stuff will happen in the game whether you're playing it or not. So like weeds can grow in your town, like trees grow, fruit grows, and all that. So like daily you can harvest certain resources every day. You shake trees to get random stuff out of them, stuff like that. like you can find furniture and stuff in trees, which is great. That's why you gotta shake every tree in your island so you can get at least 2 furnitures out of it.
Right. Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
The furniture dropping from trees.
Yeah, it's fine. Why? It's normal. It's regular. You drop, you shake a tree, a leaf comes out, and it's a sofa. It's fine. They also all have leaf icons. People hate that. I don't know why. It's just part of the aesthetic of the game. Like in your inventory, and when you pick stuff up, they just look like a leaf. It's like a leaf icon, but then you mouse over it, and it's like outdoor grill. And then you put it down, and it's a grill. But it's still a leaf icon. I don't know. That bothers people a lot. I don't know why. It's fine. It's a video game.
So, only barely related at all.
Nice.
This actually reminds me. Did you hear about that game Ark?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where you're like in this you're part of this futuristic society, and you're placed into the middle of nowhere with nothing, and you have to like collect materials around you to survive, and you can build stuff. So it's like a more realistic looking Minecraft, basically. Yeah.
Did you ever play that?
I actually did for a few minutes.
Yeah, for a few minutes. Nice.
Yeah.
I heard really good things about it, actually.
Yeah. I was at my dad's house.
Aren't there like dinosaurs in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like as if you were sent back to the Mesozoic era or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Let's Plays in it a little bit. I watched Achievement Hunter play a little bit of it.
Yeah. It's mostly about collecting dodos
interesting.
and making sure you have lots of dodos.
Nice.
Because they're great.
They're great. They're great. They're the best. That's all about the dodos, you see. That's awesome.
I know I've played games where like stuff happens while you're not logged in, but I'm trying to remember one, and
I really like that
struggling.
aspect of it. It's nice. And like as the sun's going down in real life, it's going down in the game, and like just stuff like that's kind of nice. And I've just developed my island enough to where every hour the music changes to like fit the atmosphere of the time of day, which is really cool. I really like that.
That is interesting.
Because before that, it's all just one island, theme, which is fine. But after you get hourly music, it's very nice, very cool. So anyway, very good game. It's one of the best kind of day-to-day survivalist games that I've played, even though you can't die in it. Closest thing to death is the tarantulas, which if they bite you, you will black out and go back to like the start point of the island, I guess. But you got to catch those though. They're worth a lot. Tarantulas are worth a lot of money.
It's funny because that a game seems to be like all the things I hate about some types of games.
A lot of people say that about Animal Crossing.
Well, but the thing is like I guess if the game is
really
nothing
fun,
but
though.
that kind of thing,
Yeah,
that it's maybe
exactly.
It's not as big a deal.
That is the whole point of it. Yeah.
What I don't like is when it's that kind of thing in a game where the main goal isn't that.
Yes, that's
Like
true.
farming in MMORPGs is the worst thing ever.
Very true. Yeah, in this game, that's the game. Yeah, and like decorating your house is kind of important too, but also it's like you do whatever you want. It's extremely open. Like you can almost terraform your island and make it perfect and like exactly how you want it, or you can leave it wild and overgrown if you want that look. Like totally up to you. And no one will get mad at you if that's true. Like, and then you like nurture your relationship with your villagers, and then more move in, and preferably you talk to each one daily. Otherwise they'll become less friendly towards you. So like little stuff like that you want to do, but you don't necessarily have to do it. So I like that. I like how open it is. Anyway, it's a good game.
Yeah.
Nice and chill. Again, looks amazing too. Like they've nailed the aesthetic of Animal Crossing, I feel like. So yeah, that's nice. Gosh, what else am I playing? I got a bunch of games actually. I've been just keeping an eye on the Switch like deals on the eShop, and when a game that have vaguely even heard of is like half off or like only like $10, I'm like, I'll download that. That's fine. I have an SD card in my Switch. I'll fill up my Switch with games. So I mean, I got like the Ace Attorney trilogy, which I've always wanted to play an Ace Attorney game, but I've never played a single one. But I got that for like $10. I'm like, that's awesome.
I could have sworn you'd played one on a mobile system at one point.
Never once played them. I've always wanted to. Always been interested in it, so I'm really excited to try that out. And then like Okami HD I got on Switch. I got a game called Ori in the Blind Forest. It's the first game in a kind of indie platformer. The second game just came out and people are freaking out about it because apparently it's amazing. The first game is actually really good though too. They describe it as a Metroidvania, which is sort of like a genre now of like 2D platformers with big, large explorable areas and a lot of flippy platforming, very Metroid-esque, and a lot of like hidden collectibles and power-ups and stuff. You're always gaining new platforming abilities and stuff like that. But you're this little like cute little light spirit named Ori, and it's the cutest thing ever. But it's also incredibly powerful and must be stopped. I always say like Ori's too powerful for his own good. Very cool game though. I'm actually really enjoying that. And so yeah, Ori's good. You know what I'm playing a lot of is Luigi's Mansion 3
Oh yeah, that's
on
right.
the Switch. And bruh, that's real good. That is really good. Animal Crossing's kind of taking my my time off of it a little bit, but because I'm only like halfway through it. But I really like that game so far. I played obviously the first one. I played that like crazy. Loved that game. I could I beat it a million times once I knew everything about it. But the second one on the 3DS, I like played halfway through it. I was just kind of meh because I didn't really like how it was very like level based, which I didn't like for Luigi's Mansion. I like the openness of the original game, and how you can explore the whole mansion at all times, and I think in 3 they really melded the two really well. It had like good aspects from both games and kind of made into a bigger thing. And of course it's on the Switch, so it's like nice looking. It's much bigger. It's based in a hotel, like a haunted huge hotel, and really nice. Very good game. So yep, that's what I'm doing there. I've almost got all the gems in it, which is pretty good.
Whoa.
I know. Did you ever play the first Luigi's Mansion?
No. Wow. I did not.
So sad.
Yeah. Well.
Speaking of GameCube games, so it's time for telling Brian video game news that he's never heard of, but I'm going to tell him about anyway because he doesn't listen to things online, and then I'm going to tell him about him even though I don't really know that much about it, but I'm going to tell him anyway. Segment. Are you ready, Brian?
Wow.
Well, that's the intro. That's the intro
how do I follow that.
That's the intro we play every single time. You don't remember?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what this is. It's the video, whatever I just said. Brian, I'm going to tell you some video game news. Are you ready?
Yep. I'm ready to have my mind blown.
As you mentioned earlier when we were talking before the podcast, you mentioned rumors of a new Paper Mario game.
Yes.
If you are a listener of this podcast, you know that me and Brian are very large Paper Mario fans.
Yes.
Definitely our
big
our
old
shared
paper
favorite game.
nerds.
Our shared favorite game, N64 Paper Mario. So I also heard this rumor, but that rumor is tied to another rumor, Brian, which I don't think you've heard of. Maybe you glanced at it. There is a rumor that for Mario's 35th anniversary, they are going to release on the Switch a triple pack of remastered, some say remastered, some stages say, HD upscales, who knows, of the classic 3 Mario games, 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy.
Ooh, interesting.
All in one on the Switch. To me, and most people say that's too good to be true. There's no way they're doing that, or at least they're not doing full remakes or anything. They also said that there's going to be a Super Mario 3D World deluxe version put on the Switch, the Wii U game, which is a very good game, actually. That's one of the Wii U's best games. And that's been confirmed by, not Nintendo necessarily, but, everyone else around Nintendo. So that one's almost guaranteed to be happening. And so this rumor came out a while ago. Especially the first Paper Mario rumor, that was a long time ago. That was months and months ago. And these apparently are now like one and the same, like they're coming out at the same time or being announced at the same time. Most people say that it was going to be their biggest E3 announcement, which of course is now canceled. But most, as we're all smart and especially Paper Mario fans, we're like, that's not happening. There's no way that's true. But then Eurogamer, which is a fairly respected gaming news site, backed up the rumor, and they said that according to their sources, that this is actually probably true. And everyone went, really? Wait, really? And then every gaming news article provider in the world is putting articles now about this. This Mario triple pack, 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy are coming back. And so I've never seen a rumor like this go this far. So I'm actually quite hopeful.
Yeah.
But again, who knows, man?
It's one of those high hopes, low expectations things.
I mean, it's kind of what everyone's talking about right now. And as a huge fan of all of those games, I'm probably most excited for the Sunshine remake if that's real, because that would be awesome. So I've always loved that game. So, grain of salt, of course.
Yeah.
But
I'd be curious to
fingers
see
are
what
crossed.
a Super Mario 64 Switch.
yeah, if they did a full
would look
remake,
like.
gosh, it would look incredible. It would look
Yeah.
amazing. I don't know how those levels would translate
Yeah, that
in
would
good
be
graphics. I don't know.
That'd be really interesting.
It'd be really weird to see. I mean, but they did, Gen 1 Pokemon really well. They did.
Yeah.
They've done a bunch of stuff. I mean, look at the Link's Awakening remake.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. That was pretty dang unexpected too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely not, I don't think, impossible. But there you go. That's the news. And let's hope it's true.
And that was the Brothers Game
And
Podcast
that is the
news segment.
News where I tell Brian about the gaming news, and he doesn't listen to it. I tell him about him, and then he's gonna. It's great.
Wonderful.
So I got another game. I'm gonna sip some water. Audio podcast. So what's up? What's your problem?
Some great Foley work.
What's the problem there?
Nikolai.
I was just having a sip of water like a normal person. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I'm good.
Great.
I gotta go. I'm just kidding. So I picked up a pre-order. Pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I got Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, because that came out a couple days ago. Just a couple days ago.
I too have Persona 5, just
You
not
too have
Royal.
Persona 5, just not Royal. So let's talk about Persona a little bit, Brian. By the way, Persona 5 Royal Steelbook Edition. It's very nice. It's
wow.
very nice.
Okay,
I have not
excuse
played.
me, mister.
I have not played Persona 5 whatsoever. I've of course heard many things about it. Jokers and Smash and everything.
I forget. Did that one get an anime
It
also?
did. It did.
Oh, I want to
I've
see
heard
that,
the anime's
actually.
pretty good, actually. So I have thankfully avoided spoilers too altogether. So I think I'm gonna just play it blind and just go for it, which is pretty cool because I pretty much had spoilers for the other games before I played them. So this will be fun to try. But anyway, what is your experience with Persona?
I don't remember if we've talked about Persona before.
Not
but,
much. Not much.
Yeah. So I've only played Persona 4, and that was after having watched the anime, so I already knew the story. So in some ways, it was actually nice to have seen the anime first, because getting a chance to play it, I'm like, oh, I get to play through this scene now.
You know the characters already. Yeah.
I think I understand wanting to go in blind, but I also I get the satisfaction of like being able to play through scenes that you enjoyed in an anime you enjoyed or a show you enjoyed. Although I have to say that I would have rather just played a game without any of the RPG elements and just like having just social links.
Yeah. So you vastly preferred the social aspect.
Yes.
And not the RPG aspect.
As an RPG, it was a little. I didn't love it. It was difficult for me, and
pretty hard.
part of it is because it's one of those things like when it comes to this is kind of a thing with RPGs in general with magic systems. So you have in most RPGs you have a physical fighter character who they might be able to also use some spells, but their primary method of fighting is physical combat, and it's a very straightforward play style. You have attack, your enemy has defense, you have defense, you might have evasion, and that's about it. Whereas with Magic, you have weaknesses and resistances to every type of spell, and so this enemy is weak to fire, but this other enemy absorbs fire.
Yeah. So,
Or this enemy reflects fire.
Yeah.
And so you have to like.
There's a lot of that in Persona.
What I wound up doing is every time I came up to an enemy I didn't recognize or that I hadn't fought in a while, I would look them up on a wiki to see what they were weak or resistant or reflect.
Which is a bit tedious for every fight.
Yeah, and I was just doing this almost every fight,
Yeah.
and so I just had a bunch of Chrome tabs open with
For every
bunch
enemy.
of Persona wiki pages showing me each enemy,
That's
so
the
that
way
I
to play.
knew
That's the way to play.
how to avoid dying in every fight.
So funny.
And then, but in spite of all that, I got pretty far through. I got far enough to complete the normal ending, and then I was gonna try and do the true ending. And so I get to the final dungeon, but
Yeah.
I am way underpowered for it.
Yeah.
And
Her dungeon is
I get
nuts.
halfway through it, and I'm like, oh,
It's not easy.
I don't get to just go sleep
Nope.
because it's the last day. So
You're
I
in
get
it now.
one shot.
Yeah.
And my team is exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the hardest dungeon in the game, and then also a really hard boss fight after that. So I
It's
never
nuts,
actually
yeah.
beat the final dungeon for the true ending. And like, I feel like it's one of those RPG games that if you grind enough, it'll be easy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I never have really enjoyed
loved
that
that,
all
yeah.
that much. I prefer difficulty that's comes from like interesting mechanics
Yeah.
where like you have to figure out the best method to beat this boss rather than it just being a thing of, oh, if I'm high enough level then I'll just win easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about my thoughts.
Yeah. So I've also played Persona. Yes, I have. I played Persona 4 first as well, like most people. I didn't beat it before I watched the anime with all of you. So the anime was the first time I saw like the major story elements, you know. But then after that, I did finish the game. I didn't completely 100% it. Like I didn't have every social link maxed and stuff like that, or every, you know, perfect persona and all that. But I did beat it, and her. And then I went back to Persona 3 because I feel like a lot of people agree that 3 is the best in a lot of people's opinions. I do not have that opinion, like most people. I enjoyed it. Definitely a good game. Not as good as 4, in my opinion.
I think it's kind of like how
It's a classic FF6 and 7.
Exactly.
I was going to mention that. Yep. Persona 3 and 4 and FF6 and 7 are very much the same to me. Like FF7 and Persona 4 are the ones everyone's played and heard of, and like the popular ones. But then all the people who think themselves real gamers, they say Persona 3 and FF6 are the best. And in both cases, I disagree. So there you go. I love FF6. I prefer FF7. But I don't know if that's just because I played them first. Again, like we said earlier, like sometimes just that first playthrough is what makes you like it. But
yeah,
I don't
Final
know.
Fantasy VII was the first one I played
Yeah,
of the
me too.
series.
Me too. Actually, FF9 is my favorite Final Fantasy. But I enjoyed the story a lot. I like the story and characters of Persona 3. They're great. I think actually even just graphics and quality of life improvements in Persona 4 are part of why I like it better, honestly. If it was purely story and characters, that'd be harder to decide. I'd probably still like 4 better, but I think just the vibrancy of the game, I really like the way Persona 4 looks compared to Persona 3. Persona 3 is very blue and gray, and that's basically all all of the colors in the game. And it's just kind of muddy looking a little bit. That's partially just because it was PS2 graphics. You can't really do much with it. But yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't necessarily intending to play any of the other Persona games, and then I got Persona 3 and 5 for Christmas, and thought, well, okay, I guess I'm playing more.
I guess I'm playing these. Yeah, I'm really excited for 5. Actually, I'm really excited to play that because I've only heard amazing things about it. Some people say it's the best so far. So,
and I feel like a lot of times with newer games, they have a tendency to streamline some of the things that used to be hurdles in older games. So
that's typically true.
I'm hoping to see some of those quality of life improvements that might make the RPG side of it a little bit.
That even happened
easier.
Between 4 and 4 Golden, because you never played Golden. You played the original on the PS2. And Golden on the Vita is definitely better, and it does have those a few quality of life improvements, just item wise and stuff like that. I would definitely prefer Golden. It's kind of like Final Mix, like they just took a good game and improved it over and over. So, but you don't have a Vita, so there you go. And they apparently refuse to put it ever on anything else.
Yeah. The Vita for when you want to play nothing but JRPGs.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I have it. Yeah. It's purely my RPG machine, which it's great for. So there you go. The amount of games you can download on that thing are ridiculous. There's so many games you can download, and like PS1, PS2, PSP games and all that.
Japan loves their handheld systems.
They do, which is good for us on the Switch because now we have a lot of Switch games. There's a lot of cool Switch games coming out. I told you about the Clubhouse 51, right? That board game. Switch game that's coming out. Dude, it looks so good. You gotta watch a trailer for that later because it's got Nintendo polish to it. I feel like that's what excited me so much about it, and it's just got every board and card game you could think of, basically.
Which
pretty cool.
So I really like the idea of that because I can't count how many times I've been playing a physical board game and went, what would make this better is if this was all virtual and I didn't have to keep track of all this stuff and hold cards and
shuffles it for you.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool because I think even there's a mode where you can play on one Switch and you put a divider, like a physical divider on top of the screen so that you can only see your side. And you're both playing on the same little screen, which would be really fun.
That would be awesome.
But we both have Switches too, so I mean, we could easily just play mahjong at a table or something. That'd just be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have actual tabletop mahjong, which we both love. If you've never played it, it's quite good. And the Koi Koi Hanafuda, which I really enjoy too. So.
I remember. Cool. I think I remember when the Wii U came out, people talking about that would be a great use case for it.
Mm-hmm. It's board games and stuff, and they're starting to really use that with the Switch. Not only that, a bunch of other games are coming out. I think it's already out. Catan, I think, is on the Switch, as well as there's a few more coming out, like Betrayal at Hill House, which is a really great board game. So they're really going for it, I think, with the board game thing, which is really cool because I think some of them even have where you can put two Switches next to each other and they become the board together.
Oh, nice.
They become one almost, which is really cool. So yeah, I think they're really doing some interesting stuff with it, which I like a lot. So yeah.
Yeah. There's a YouTube channel I just got into within the past few days, and it's the name of the channel is Rasputin,
Rasputin,
like Rasputin, but with a B instead of a P.
Okay.
But and he did this experiment where he had his wife, who is a non-gamer,
experimented on his wife.
Play some games, and he just observed how she handled them. It was really interesting.
See, that'd be hard for me because she'd actually have to play the game, which would be difficult to get her to do.
Yeah, and also you'd have to be able to keep your mouth shut when she struggles through it. When you're just just jump, just jump, no, just jump.
I did pretty well. We played.
But yeah.
I actually had her play Breath of the Wild a little bit. She played almost the whole prologue, the whole Great Plateau part, and I was nice the whole time.
Yeah.
Very gracious to her. Anyway, yes, continue.
But yeah, it was very interesting, and he did also have his wife play Breath of the Wild, and it was interesting because I actually went through some of the same things that she did when I played, because that game, the controls took me a bit to figure out, and like I have 30 years of muscle memory
buttons.
from a lot of other games, but it's one of those games where I found myself forgetting which button did what, even kind of late into the game, like after putting several hours into it already. But there are a lot of struggles I didn't have that this person did,
because they're just
but,
not gamers in general. Yeah.
but yeah.
Am I right, gamers?
And I hadn't really played any other Zelda games to any great degree before that.
You're definitely not a Zelda person. So.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things I didn't really even think to look for, and there were several times where I thought, I am probably not doing this the way the developers intended.
Yeah.
But it's working, so I'm gonna do it.
But open world games are kind of like that. It's like you have a lot of options.
And what's really interesting is, so on the Great Plateau, there's that one point where you have to go across this really wide ravine, and there's some bokoblins on the other end. And I guess you're supposed to actually chop down a tree and then walk across the tree.
Did you not do that?
Not only did this lady not do that, but neither did I. We both climbed our way over, and it's not only possible, but I did it.
Wow. Okay.
And,
I didn't even think that was possible.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. So what, you just like side climbed all the way
I
over
just
there?
side climbed all the way over.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's so funny. Yeah, like the old man's even there cutting down trees and like hints at you to cut down a tree to get over there.
And like it just never even
clicked in
my head that I could even cut down a tree and use it as a bridge like that. I didn't even necessarily think that mechanic existed in the game.
Totally.
So
I get that a lot of the time, where it's like, I don't know if they even programmed that in the game.
Yeah, and I think that maybe gets in the way sometimes, because like I have this long history of, okay, games have limitations, and you often can't do things that you could do in real life, even though there's lots of things you can do that you can't do in real life. There's a lot of things where you're like, oh, I would like to be able to do it this way, but the limitations of the game mean I can't. And also, that's actually something that this person ran into a lot, is they wanted to solve a problem presented to them in a certain way, and the limitations of the game wouldn't
The game
let
was like,
them.
no, that doesn't work.
And so, since I'm so used to there being limitations like this, I automatically just
them,
assume that I can't do a lot of things unless it's like explicitly said that I can.
That's when just experimentation comes into it.
Yeah.
I've found that I'm getting better at just experimenting in games now and being surprised when things work. I'm like, oh, that worked. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that more, actually, especially with games I haven't played.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. But
I'm like making an
not as
effort
much
now
as-
to do it. Like it's happened a lot with Luigi's Mansion 3. Bunch of stuff where I'm like, I guess I'll try this. And then like it works. And I'm like, they programmed that into the game? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. So pretty cool when it does work out that way.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because like so the things this person struggled with most were controls and navigation, and so you and I have the advantage of all that muscle memory, all those years and years of because really there's only so many different control layouts. And even if a game is fairly unique in its controls, it's going to follow like a template of
some sort of rules. Yeah.
It'll be
and
similar.
You at least know
to
the feel
another
of a
game.
control stick. Whereas some people don't at all. Yeah.
Although, so
Which is
after
crazy.
a couple of months of playing Breath of the Wild and then going to Halo,
Yes.
the
Very
movement
different.
of the A button from the
yeah.
the right to the bottom.
That's a classic problem.
And so the thing
between
is
those two.
with several of the consoles that I have spent the most time playing, including the N64, the PS2, the PS4, and every Xbox, the confirm button
is the bottom button.
is the bottom button.
Yes.
The only consoles I've played where it's on the side
Yeah.
are the Super Nintendo
Yep.
and the Switch.
Yep. True.
Because with the Wii, it's a totally different thing anyway with the Wiimote.
Yeah.
And
Your
then
hand naturally rests
the
on the A
GameCube
button.
is just in the middle,
Right.
which
Big
makes
center button,
total sense.
which was really smart decision.
But on both the Switch, because I haven't played a SNES with any regularity in at least 18 years.
So you obviously didn't play DS and stuff.
Right.
Everything from DS to 3DS also had
yeah.
that button layout.
Yeah,
But again, you didn't play
I didn't
that,
really
so-
play any mobile systems
Right.
after Game Boy Advance.
Right.
At least not until the 2DS and
Right, you do have a
Pokemon,
2DS. That's true, but you didn't really play it
Pokemon
much.
Sun and Moon. But
Yeah.
yeah, I only played it for Pokemon Moon,
Yeah,
and because it was a mobile system anyway,
you kind of played it different
it,
anyway.
it
Yeah.
kind of felt like a different thing altogether anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was bizarre
Mm-hmm.
going back and forth because they both have that like diamond shaped 4-button layout now.
Right.
The Pro
Pretty much
controller.
everything has that. Yeah.
And so to have that,
But
then
totally
have
different.
confirm be in the spot that is cancel
Uh-huh.
on the other systems is very weird
Mm-hmm.
in my brain.
What? There was one PS2 game I remember. I don't remember which game it was now, but there was a game that had the circle was confirm.
Actually, I think FF7 is that way.
It might be like a Final
Yeah.
Fantasy or something. And I hated that so
That
much.
was bizarre, yeah.
I was like, I kept hitting X when it was
'Cause that-
supposed to.
Because it doesn't really matter that the PlayStation has triangle, square, circle, X as opposed
Right.
to A, B, X, Y.
Same thing. Yeah.
Because
You think of
I'm
it as
not
down
thinking,
and
yeah,
right.
I'm thinking of bottom, right, left,
You're
top.
just remembering where your thumb moves to hit that button.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
You're not really.
It doesn't.
You're
you
not
could,
looking at the controller and hitting
yeah,
A.
you could put any symbols on there, and as long
Yeah.
as I know which one is which, initially, then I'll just remember. Oh, okay, that symbol is always confirm.
I feel like
'cause
I'm
it's on the
just
bottom.
now getting used to even the Switch, like X being on the top. Like I'm just now getting used to that. I feel like
That's less of a big deal to
Right.
me because of how infrequently they're used compared to
Right.
just confirm and cancel.
Yeah.
Like those are two things that are used a lot.
those I'm
in
now
certain
used to
types of
because
games.
I pretty much only play the Switch right now. So
In games that have very few menus, the only reason it's weird is because the jump button is usually also that button. If it was a game that had no jump and no menus, I don't think it would
Less
really
of an
matter
issue,
a whole
yeah.
much. But
that's true.
But any game that's got a lot of menus, like any RPG,
Any RPG, yeah.
or a lot of action adventure games, any game with an inventory,
Mm-hmm.
like those, it's a big deal to have confirm and cancel be totally different on
Yeah,
one
for real.
console than on another.
For real. That's so funny. Speaking of Final Fantasy, by the way, 9 days till FF7 remake.
Oh wow,
Can you believe that?
I can't believe it's actually happening.
It's actually coming
because
out. Can you believe it? Even with the coronavirus stuff, they're not
'Cause
delaying it.
I still remember when the PS3 launched and there was like a
teaser.
a teaser for an FF7 remake, but it was just like it was just to demonstrate the graphics of the PS3 or whatever.
Right.
And everyone was like, "I want
were
this, make
losing
it."
it, yeah.
And then they didn't
And it took-
for so long, and now it's finally happening.
It's actually
after
happening. 9 days it's coming out.
years.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Square
I'm gonna
really
get it,
knows how to
obviously.
make people wait for things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they love that. What was Kingdom Hearts 3? What was that? 10, 15 years in the
15
making?
years, I think,
15
from
years?
Kingdom Hearts 2 at least. I mean, we had some stuff in between,
Quite a bit
but
of games
really
before that.
a numbered Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, I've seen there's a demo. There's a free demo right now
Mm-hmm.
if you want to play through the intro of the game.
Hmm.
And it's gosh, I mean, it looks incredibly good. It's the best Final Fantasy game ever
Now,
looking.
when I first saw that it wasn't going to be turn-based, I was upset.
You know, you can change it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can choose now.
So I was
You could try both and see what you like.
I
but-
played FF12 last year, and
Right. Yeah, you played Zodiac Age, right?
yeah, the Zodiac Age, and I actually
still need to play
really
that.
enjoyed the new the battle system that they've been using since 12.
Mhm.
It's been I actually really enjoyed it, so I'm not so turned off by it anymore for the 7
which is
remake.
cool.
Because turn-based RPGs do tend to be my favorite RPGs.
This is what you were used to, at least.
Yeah, but after having played a few of these RPGs where I don't have to deal with random encounters anymore, it made me realize how much I hated random encounters.
Yeah.
So
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything's basically moved away from random encounters. Like Pokemon even
Yeah.
has like I can't think of any modern RPG that has random encounters.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. It's like it was just totally the norm before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
It'd be really interesting to see like an FF1 remake,
That'd be
an
weird.
original Final Fantasy remake.
And just
with
make it like
modern
a game.
graphics. Yeah.
And make it a game instead of not a
Yeah.
game. What a piece of garbage that
Yeah.
is.
Well, because it had so many bugs.
Well, it just doesn't
and-
work. Yeah.
but yeah.
Like it's one thing to just be old, but for half your items to just not work and
Yeah.
stuff. It's pretty yikes.
Like, oh yeah, don't use this item because it's bugged in this game.
Yeah,
Like,
don't
oh,
worry.
great.
Just forget that completely. I mean, I guess Gen 1 Pokemon's kind of like that too.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff doesn't
Like,
mean anything.
Focus energy having it the opposite effect that it is intended to.
Yeah. And wasn't it in like Gen 2? In the original Gen 2, like all of the special Pokeballs didn't work, or like half of them didn't work like they were supposed to. You remember that?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember, like the
I don't
moon ball and
remember.
stuff didn't actually do anything,
Hmm.
and the heavy ball I think didn't do anything. It was just a normal Pokeball.
Was that even in Gen 2 though? I don't remember.
I don't remember. All those random balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read a thing.
No.
I don't think it was all of them, but I know multiple of them had
Yeah.
no extra effect, which is hilarious. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting late. It's not getting late at all. It's 3 o'clock.
Oh.
Ryan, any thoughts? Any other thoughts? That's the state. That's the state of our play. That's the
Yep.
state of play.
It's good to be back. So as
I have
far
a
as
sick Nintendo
plans
mug.
for the rest of how of what I'm gonna do during the rest of quarantine,
Oh, yeah.
is I
What are you still playing?
think I'll probably finish Shadow of the Colossus, or I don't know if I'll finish it, but I'm going to play it some more and try to get more used to it and just see how far I can get before I either get frustrated or bored.
Yeah.
That might be beating the game. That might be only getting about halfway through.
Yeah.
We'll see. After that, I think I want to play Tales of Symphonia.
Oh, cool.
I picked that up sometime in the last couple of
Which
months.
version did you get?
For GameCube.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a great game.
Since I've got a good working
That's a
GameCube.
great Tales
Yeah.
Tales game.
And that's going to be my introduction to the Tales of series. I watched the anime of Tales of Zestiria, which is I hear from a lot of people that it's not a great game, but the anime was
That's
interesting. So I want to start with Symphonia because that's like the classic one, and then if I really like it, I might continue and try some of the other games from the series.
You know, I'm really interested in is there's an RPG series. I think there's only 2 or 3 games out right now, but they just put out the first one on Switch. Nino Kuni.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So it's made by it's all got like Ghibli art, which is really cool. Like they do all of the character design and cinematics and stuff. So it's a really good looking game, but apparently it's a really good RPG too. And they just put the first one out on Switch. So I might actually pick that up and try that out because I've been always curious of that series. So other than that, there's so much to do in Animal Crossing right now.
Yeah.
I'm very focused on that. But then I'll get back to Luigi's Mansion 3 and start Persona 5 Royal as well.
Yeah.
A lot to do, a lot of games to play. FF7's coming out. It's a crazy time. I still need to play the Remind DLC. I can't believe I haven't played that.
Yeah, you got to do that. Because then we can
okay.
finally talk about it.
I have so much to do. So many
All right.
games to play. Well, guys, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
If you listened. If not, you can't hear me.
Oh.
So there you go. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Forget it. I just banged the table with my knee.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Can you hear this?
Would you stop?
What?
Would you stop?
Would I?
Would you?
I don't know. Would
you? Will you?
I don't know. Can I?
Good night, everyone.
Good night.